my only responsive thing to go. Like that. Look at that. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the initiative order. Welcome back to Chalice. Hi. It's us. I'm sorry. So, as it's been actually not as long as it probably is since we last had everyone here on screen, but after a lovely game of charades, it wasn't quite charades, no one thought to look at what's happening. We're back. So, let's run around the room before we get into it, say hi to everyone, maybe prepare to say goodbye to a few of them. Who knows? There may be it's not an elephant room, it's a goose in the room, but we're going to let it live for now. And on that, we'll start with, hey Max.
Hi, I'm Max, I'm playing Jules. Everyone else had really scary pictures behind them, so I did the same, and I've got a goose.
I really want to leave you just hanging on that to see how long.
Yeah, let me hang a little bit more. My goose.
Danny, please boot Max from the call for my own sanity.
Yeah.
And they made the last bit of noise, so Billy, say hello.
Hello, I am the one and only Billy. I think there's more Billys, but just not here, so I am the one and only Billy. I'll be playing Subil, hopefully for more than just tonight, but honestly, I don't know anymore. Tonight might be the night where Subil might finally get some peace and quiet, but I doubt it.
Very, very optimistic that you think if death comes quiet.
Yeah.
Anyway, Holly.
Oh no. Hi, my name is Holly. I play Violet. I'm not in a smart or witty mood, so I can't really think of anything fun to say, really. I might die. I might not. At this point, I don't really care. It's storytelling. If it happens, it happens. I'll be back next time with a new character just to annoy Ben.
No, I'll shoot you.
Oh.
There we are. Now you have to keep her alive.
Oh, damn it. Now I actually have reasons.
And last but by no means least, CJ.
Hi everyone, I'm CJ. You can find me everywhere at CJ Story. I will be playing Kylan, who is really having the time of their life. That's it.
We all know it's true.
I'm having the time of my life. Kylan.
That's definitely the most important part of it. And me, Ben. I am everyone else in the game because that's my problem to deal with. And this week, I've been looking a lot at Grizzle galvanizes slowly gathering gregarious gangs full of ghoul, and we'll see what that feature. Don't you shake your head at me, Dan. I can see you there. That's because you're invisible to everyone else. And on that, I'm going to give Danny some work. Hey, Danny, roll the intro. We'll see you all on the other side. hey, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that, and we're all going to wave goodbye to Danny behind the scenes. Not because he's going to turn off, because you just don't want to do that. And getting back into the right mindset, let's see what happened last time. Normally, I would ask someone at random, but we're not going to do that. It's more fun, just directly point to maps. Things do it all. I may be delaying. Potentially, who knows? It might be because I've already pressed start. We have a timer. You're not taking the cue here, Max. You're running out of time rapidly.
Oh shit. Okay. So, oh no. We're still on the boat. My character has been drinking. She got really scared. Subil has been told to go talk to Juliana because he's really weird. Everyone else is kind of having a panic attack, and then we arrive at the place. We turn up. It's a really cool kind of canal port, which is filled with some people in a tavern that's just outside of it where you can get some food. We all stumble in. We have kind of like a chat with a guy who wants to kind of test our might and see if we're like to the job, and we are the annoying people that we are. And while that's going on, I head back for more booze. We come back, we meet up, we chat a little bit, and then we find out there's an old crone at the top of the boat, and we're like, why is there an old crone? And the reason is she's going to help us get to a place without us being found, because the guards have started patrolling the canal boats. So we all get on the boat, we all tie each other up, we close our eyes because that's what we've been told, and no one asks any more questions. I close my eyes, I get horrific horrors harassing me, and then I wake up in a new place.
I'm
from Jules'
just for flinging in the alliteration. Well done. I'm that easy to impress. And because, it's not fun to just make you do it, is it? That'd be no. We're now going to flick through the same and ask everyone what they experienced while they couldn't see anything. And we're going to start, because they're directly under me on my camera, with Billy.
Well, I mean, Subil, I'll be entirely honest, Subil doesn't want to remember that. He hears it too much anyway. Plenty of creepy things whispering into his ear. And he's definitely blocking it out of his brain.
I can alleviate some stress and tell you I stopped fine.
Yeah. No. Sybil's blocked out of his brain. Creepy stuff. I don't think you all watching want me to repeat it, so I think I'm probably doing you a favor.
The excuses were made. Kylan, what did you think?
Yeah, so Kylan got some flashes of some things to do with channelers, I think, some things to do with maybe alchemy, and someone urging them to open their eyes and see things. And they had said to themselves out loud, no, I trust Erna, I'm not going to. So they didn't. I think that's
pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Advises. Who knows? And finally.
So, I don't want to relive this, but I have to now. Yes. Violet basically heard from her violin case, which, if we all remember, I pulled a Black Joker and destroyed. I literally just broke a string on my violin, and now I think it's the end of the world. But she, from her violin case with her now not playable violin, she heard music, and then the voices of her parents basically telling her to come help them. And if I remember right, something to do with Violet's mistakes now kind of evolving, doing something to her parents. I don't know. It was creepy. I threw away the violin case, and by that I mean I dropped it and then probably started crying. I don't. It was traumatizing. I actually didn't sleep that night, and I think I've blocked that whole night out from my memory, just like Violet will.
Can't decide if I should be ashamed or proud of myself for the end of that. I'm gonna say ashamed, but actually probably looking.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm sleeping now. I'm getting my full 8 hours of sleep at night then. So, just wasn't then.
Well, let's put an end to that. Right.
I think routinely we have been most devastated by Violet's violin twice now.
Honestly, I've decided. I think I figured out that my violin is the main character, and it's now going through its villain arc, which is just deciding to hurt us all on a daily basis.
Just like us. We're supposed to be the good guys, you know?
Are we?
We're meant to be.
I haven't done anything violent yet, so I'm still saying I'm a good guy.
Have you gone to the police yet? No. So
I've been on a boat. I have literally been on the same boat you guys have been on it since the start.
It's you could have told someone. So you.
You said I'm not going to tell someone today. That could be the plan today.
Yeah, you know you're just going to get. Yeah.
Is it? Can I leave? Is it too late for me to leave?
You're on a boat. You can't.
Damn it.
Speaking of on a boat, it is early morning in Chalice. As the flight of the Icarus continues down a long, narrow river towards this, the capital city of Ignis. From the angle you come, you can make out the tall, smoke-belching chimneys of the refineries and factories that line the inner walls of the city. The smoke bowl. Smoke chokes the air above the city, nearly blotting out the sun. To the south and the east, sorry, that took me a moment. To the south and the east, you can see the ever expanding stretch of shanty towns that build out further and further from the walls of this Barrow Town downward. None of you, with the single exception of Kylan, have ever spent any great amount of time in this, and even Kylan, it's a passing fancy as you travel in and out delivering goods. This is a city lost to industry, where the working class are lucky to be able to turn a penny long enough to even maintain their own homes, let alone their own livelihoods or ability to keep food on the table. Whereas, in the polar opposite, factory owners and nobles, and even the Baron of Ignis herself, less kind form, look down from their own happy homes in Sunrise Way over the slowly evolving city as it starts to devour itself for industry. Worryingly enough, most of that is visible even from the distance. The entire city has the ominous scent and air of a place ready and hungry for more. To you, though, that's a passing fancy at the moment. As the ship continues down and still lying on the deck, exhausted, bruises covering a small, fragile body, Sam lies. Both Morhen and Juliana, for the first time since you've gotten onto the boat, sit within spitting distance of one another, checking over him. Both of them trained in different ways of healing, making sure he is safe. Juliana's finely manicured hands and very upkept appearance is marred by the worry on her face and the sweat on her brow. Whereas Sam seems happy enough, smiling and trying to laugh and reassure those around him, the worry on Juliana's face belies something worse. Behind them, again, barely an arm's length away, Moorhen rapidly moves through his satchel, pulling out various alchemical substances, double-checking them, scribbling down notes, deciding on the best way of trying to help the boy. Erna, at the back of the ship, her eyes still red with tears, grips the wheel and continues to pilot you down towards Dis. The river you're taking leading you through a far, far south portion of it, the Shade, into the large adjoining river that runs through most of the city. Around you are long, lingering fields. Unlike those in Dowry, the area you have recently left, the fields of Dis are unkempt, uncared for. This is not a place that cares for farming, that has easier ways of getting that. It just pays for it. If it cannot churn, if it cannot melt down, if it cannot be refined or built into something greater, it is ignored. And even the houses left out into the far south show that on the stonework, on the woodwork. Start with you. Each of you, as you stand around on the deck, trying to work out what just happened, what to do, even as you can hear the low murmuring of the old woman who dragged you through wherever it was you passed. Minutes, hours, it's hard to say. Okay. We'll start with Subil. As for the first time in ages, there is a silence in your mind.
It's new. Well, Subil, after going through that, I'd say a few months ago to Subil, he would probably be reeling from the experience, but after however many months of having this certain thing whispering in his ear, he's going to take the opportunity to think straight for once. Is our fellow Jacob Moorhen still tending to Sam, or has he finished looking over him?
You can see him, as I said, just kind of watching Sam over from a distance. He's got a variety of syringes and vials laid out in front of him. You can see him feverishly scribbling in a notebook. He seems to have a very clean, very empty syringe laid on a sterile alcohol-soaked cloth just on his knee, but he's not actively doing anything at this moment.
I think after Sybil's taken in the surroundings, I think he's definitely going to get his bearings, making sure he knows the kind of city that he's entering. He used to be a courier, so he's used to going to places that he doesn't recognize, and hopefully that's given him a little bit of experience in terms of kind of assessing the vibe of the city, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. After getting his bearings a little, he's going to go over to Jacob and kind of gently say, well, he's going to start with, you okay?
He barely looks up from what he's doing for a moment. He kind of, you can see he drinks in what you say, but his kind of bright blue eyes are still flicking across all of the various tools. You can see his hands running across this fairly unkempt, recently shaved, but seemingly since ignored beard, pulling back his thick brown hair, and just, yes, I'm fine. I assume you consider yourself the keeper of Sam, a guardian.
I mean, in some respects, I suppose so. Not a very good one, though.
I think you're in some fairly odd circumstances. I'd give yourself a little bit of leniency. I ask because I feel it may be best for me to take a sample of this boy's blood.
I'd say
There are
no. Explain,
Please,
if you could.
continue.
I would say that I have no really right to refuse you, but I wouldn't force it of him. If he chooses to give that up, I think I trust you enough to know that you're not trying to pull anything, if you know what I mean.
My main interest is a lot of the substances I could use to try and help him may have adverse reactions depending on internal stimuli within the boy. I'd like to avoid those if possible.
I understand. Well, if he has no objections, then I also do not have any objections.
He just nods and just kind of moves slightly across the deck. He doesn't raise himself off the floor. He kind of keeps very low, runs his knees along just to remain at the same height as Sam, takes that alcohol-soaked cloth and just cleans off the point of the needle.
While doing that, I think Sybil's going to also kneel down to Sam, make eye contact, and say, kind of to him, "Okay, Sam, you're doing great. Jacob's going to help you, okay? He's just going to make sure that you're all right. Might pinch a bit, though, yeah. But you're going to be strong, yeah?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah. You're a brave dude. You got this, yeah?" And Sybil's going to turn and nod to Jacob.
Jacob gives you a nod back, and before he kind of moves forward, places the cloth, just wipes it down. Sam's arm, you can see it parting across beads of sweat and brightening the bruises on his arm for a moment. You can see the deep welts of where a strong hand has just gripped into the boy and discolored. He wipes the arm down and prepares the needle when Juliana raises her hand. What are you doing? Sybil, you can't surely be letting him take his blood.
Juliana, you know as well as I do that channelers, their physiology is very different from what Jacob's explained. It's to make sure that there's no adverse reactions, as he says. Do you have an alternative?
You want to... We don't know what's going on with the boy. We can't inject him with anything.
He's not injecting him. Are you, Jacob?
Not at this time, no. As I say, this is purely to check and make sure there's nothing I can do that's going to make things worse for him.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, we don't know enough about how his physiology works. This is a chance to learn, not to experiment.
Juliana kind of locks eyes with him for a moment, and again, you can kind of see this almost unacknowledged movement as her trigger finger just twitches slightly.
If he hurts Sam in any way, I have no objections to you killing him. How about you, Jacob? You know,
It's not high on my list to do either, frankly. Neither be shot in the face or hurt Sam.
yeah. And you know well enough that if you do hurt Sam, then Juliana will not hesitate to shoot you in said face.
I imagine if I hurt Sam, many of you would probably turn to hurt me in turn.
Absolutely. Juliana first, though. Except her.
Juliana leans back and kind of rests on her haunches and just watches very cautiously. Her eyes do not move off of the needle as Jacob moves in and just holds it over. But right, Sam, you're going to feel a very small scratch. Just want you to breathe in. Sam just... and then out. And as Sam begins to breathe out, he pushes the needle through the skin. And there is a small from Sam as it breaks, and you see a small swelling of silver blood around the needle. you can all view this, so if there's anything anyone would like to do, or are you happy for this to continue?
I think just looking confused as to why this kid is bleeding silver blood. Because, people don't do that. Right? We don't bleed silver, but yeah, this is going to be like very like, what? Okay? Just confused. Confused and fear like kind of sketched on her face, really.
Kai's watching as well, has been watching the whole exchange with some concern and some curiosity.
Okay. As you watch on, Morhen very slowly pulls a small amount of very thick silver blood into the syringe. No more than about half of the measure. Sam looks uncomfortable as it happens, and even as you watch the blood be drawn, you feel a very heavy dip in the temperature. The water that was splashed upon the deck as you landed near Sam begins to freeze and crack.
Sybil's going to make eye contact and just go, "You're doing great, bud. You're doing great." Brave little
At
man.
which point, Morhen pulls the needle free and immediately wipes down the extraction point again. You did brilliantly. Just a moment, I have something in my bag for you. And he takes the needle, removes the cap, and clicks it into place, so it just acts as a sealed vial. He places it down on the side, goes through his bag, and pulls out a small bag that he unwraps, and pulls a bright red hard candy out. And just immediately passes it over to Sam. What is it? He takes another one out, unwraps it, and pops it into his own mouth. They just taste nice. Sam just... And points at you. At which point Morhen just offers you the bag as well.
Yeah. I'm supposed to reach, grab one. Yeah.
Tastes vaguely of strawberries, but only if you close your eyes and imagine it does really hard. Otherwise, it's just overbearing sweet. Morhen picks himself up.
It's not sour.
Yeah.
Subil has eaten almost nothing for 2 months. Like, anything is.
True. You had full breakfast yesterday.
True. That's still sweet.
Morhen picks himself up, places the now sealed vial into his pocket for a moment, and just does the rounds, quickly just offering the bag to everyone. Completely up to you if you take or not.
I was like, no, thank you.
I think I'm too freaked out to actually eat anything. No.
Jules?
Jules will take 2 and pocket 1 for another special occasion.
A solid theory. As you know, you kind of know Erna takes 1, and you can see him go to move towards Juliana, and then think better of it and just loop around the deck again. The moment Sam is kind of settled into position, he sits back up and very slowly and very cautiously sits. And can tell that there's an ache running across his body as he brings himself into position. There's visual distress in his muscles as he rests his small hands on his lap. His arms are still shaking slightly as he does so.
Kylan will go up and say, Sam, do you want to go lay down somewhere a little bit nicer than here? Down in the sitting room, maybe?
I'd like to see the sun.
Okay, then we'll bring the sitting room to you. And Kylan's gonna go grab cushions from the sitting room, go down and start gathering up cushions from the sitting room to bring up onto the deck.
You gather those all up, bring them up, and just start placing them down. And very quickly, Sam kind of very slowly makes his way over to them and settles in, very comfortably. You can see a slow smile forming over him as he kind of lies on a couple, takes a third pillow, and just holds onto it very, very tightly. Still trying his best to not finish the suite.
Sun gazing and stargazing's better with pillows.
Can I keep one?
Yeah, I'll take it out of my paycheck.
And he just holds it a lot tighter at that. Violet, anything for you?
I think Violet's just kind of stay seated. She's just been through. I mean, everyone's just been through a lot, but I think this is the first time Violet's kind of been through something like this. So she's just gonna take a moment to kind of process. She is now gonna open up the violin case just to make sure there's no small people in it making it play random music and all that stuff. But yeah, she's just gonna keep to herself and just try to process. Really, it's been a lot for her.
You lean down and just click the latches on the violin, swing open the nicely lacquered case, and inside, still resting in the kind of velvet lining of the case, is the violin. That same deep gash running along its front, running along its surface, and a set of fully intact strings.
Okay. She's just gonna pluck the string that was like the most damaged beforehand, just to make sure it's like actually there, because she is now very confused because that she destroyed that string, so she's now like, what's happening?
You lean down and just check the string, and it lets out a very satisfying note. Very high, very steady. It reverberates a little bit. You can feel it in your teeth.
Okay, that's that's sweet.
It's a different color to the others.
Oh, what color is it?
Black.
Oh no, it's an evil string.
You've got an evil violin.
Evil violin, oh no. Okay, sorry, string's different color. Okay.
The others are still this kind of pale, kind of white, ivory white.
Yeah.
You raise the violin up slightly, and just in the light, the string is caught, and there's a slight reflection off of it. Almost just a glimmer, more than anything else, of this very dull purple violet color.
Does it feel different to the other strings, or does it feel like a string?
It feels very cold.
Okay. Do I make everyone listen to me play music? No, I don't know. She's just gonna kind of still again. Also, I think at this point more concerned and a bit scared for her sanity. She's gonna like put the she's gonna close the case again after putting the violin in, and just yeah, I'm gonna note this in my little notebook, and at some point I'll play music on it, just not while everyone's getting themselves back together after what's just happened.
Mm-hmm. Jules, anything for you?
After everyone's kind of had their kerfuffle over Sam, and starts going upstairs to stargaze, that old lady at the front of the boat.
Yep.
Sam told me that she's not real.
Correct.
Can I pick up some stones and stuff like pebbles? I just kind of want to watch her, and at any point just kind of throw a pebble to see if it goes through her?
You
Like not big, not enough that the person will go around and be like, "What the fuck was that? It must have been a ghost." No, just like, yeah.
Okay. You have a little check around the deck, and there's a couple of loose pebbles here or there from when you were traveling underground. You pick one up, and you just kind of sit and watch it for a moment. And the woman, since your trip, has kind of settled herself at the front of the ship again. And she's just stood there holding on to the prow, both hands, just rocking very gently back and forth. You pick up a stone and just you watch it fly through the air and just impact into the back of her cloak. She seems to be wearing quite thick, heavy clothing. It's deep grey with small domes and bone charms just knitted into the surface. And even as she kind of slowly rocks back, her wispy white hair dragged across her face, she doesn't notice the stone, doesn't react in the slightest. And as you know, she is, from what you've been told, blind, deaf, and unable to speak. So
Then I'm gonna come back with a glass of water. I just kind of walk past it to see if it freezes or gets cold or whatever. Just in proximity of the thing.
you disappear under the deck whilst Kylan is gathering all the pillows for Sam, and grab a small glass of water from a jug. Make your way back up and head to the front of the ship. As you get close to her, and you kind of rest by the prow at yourself, the water does begin to chill. Not horrendously so, it definitely doesn't freeze. The glass itself is relatively fine. It's still getting colder, but there is a distinct dip in the temperature. And kind of as you note that for a little bit, her head does slowly turn towards you. Until the point you can make out every wrinkle on her face. You can see the pallid, milky white that's taken her eyes. And she holds her mouth just slightly open. You can see small, yellowed teeth, many of them still missing. And inside, as she just continues to just moisten her lips, you can see this stump of a tongue moving around inside. You can see where it's just been very cleanly severed about halfway through.
This thing's dead, for sure. Can I smell it from here?
As you're kind of getting closer to this, the air is starting to fill with smoke and smog, and it's already tainting the scent a bit. You can definitely... You'd have to move significantly closer to her if you want to...
Yeah. My issue is that she's deaf, blind, and can't speak. So if I can't really go up to her and be like, "Would you like a glass of water?" She had no. One, she wouldn't know what it is. Two, she wouldn't put her hand out for a glass of water or anything. Like, I'm still gonna. I'm not gonna say anything, but I am gonna offer out a glass of water, but as like a sniff. And if nothing happens, I'm just gonna like retreat.
You hold up the glass of water like one would across against a vampire and just draw
that, or like
to her.
like a try not to like annoy a dog or whatever, you know, like smell my hands.
You get closer to her with the glass, and again you can feel it getting colder with every kind of small movement of water. You draw close enough that you can start sniffing. She doesn't react at first. You're holding the glass about here in relativity to her face. Just if you pushed forward, you'd be able to brush it against the hairs on her nose. And you just go in for a... Can everyone please draw 4 cards from their deck? And Matt, can Jules make me a notice check, please?
Okay.
Difficulty 8.
Notice. Okay. Oh, I haven't shuffled my cards. Because I assume this is a new scene.
Yeah.
It's a bad time to turn on. Go away.
Okay. I got rolled 3 plus, what's my notice? Probably like 2. 6. So I can't do that. So can I do... I've got an 8 here.
Mhm.
Anyway. Can I use that?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Cheating at sniffing an old lady.
Yeah, I know I know it's like a useless roll, but also kind of like, I want to know if she's dead.
You lean in close, holding the glass of water close to her, and just take a deep sniff. I will quickly point out, as your receptors begin to drink in the smells, everyone on the deck is fully aware of what is happening right now. It's right at the end of the deck. You can all see Jules holding a glass of water in front of the blind old lady's face and sniffing her. She smells like the thief. There is a
Like salty.
Yeah, there is an uncomfortably strong smell of salt and brine on her. It permeates her being. Every part of her reeks of it. Even her breath, which you can see misting up the glass. And as you kind of sniff deeply and almost close your eyes for a moment just to try and understand what it is you're smelling, there's a movement as her hand just comes up and takes the glass.
There you go. Thirsty? And she can't speak.
Just pulls it away from you very slowly, grips it with another hand, and greedily starts to gulp it down, the water splashing around her jowls and landing on her clothing. Again, as it makes contact with some of the small bone charms that rest kind of hidden within, the water just freezes on contact. Some of it becomes snow before it even hits the floor. Done. As the last drop is pulled from the glass, she just drops it, immediately causing it to drop to the ground, shatter into a half dozen pieces, and she just turns back the way she was facing and just hear her. As she grips again the front of the ship, and around her fingers you can see the prow just getting slightly colder, the wood expanding slightly.
Step away. I'm gonna get a drink, and I'm gonna come back to her to cool it just a little bit, and then I'm gonna go sit with everyone else.
You go and grab a glass of water, return over to her, and just hold it about 10 feet
No,
away from her.
This is alcoholic. I'm still drinking.
Okay.
I haven't stopped drinking.
You grab your nice cool glass of whiskey, keep it near her long enough just for it to get a nice chill, and go back to everyone else.
Yeah. And then as I sit down, I'm gonna say to everyone, be like, just to let you know, 1 or 2 drops of water, and it just activates it. So I'll just keep going.
Did you need to sniff her to find that out?
Well,
Like,
if it
you all
helps,
saw that.
darling, I learned something about it. Anyway, she reeks of the seaside. Like, I'm talking an ice cream on a sunny day. I'm talking surfing with jellyfish.
I've never been surfing, Jules. Or seen
You
a
can,
jellyfish.
I can live. Maybe I want to go surfing. It's better than whatever we're doing. But what I am saying is that she or it is 1, channeling, 2, I don't think it's alive. I think it's some like drowned, like dead thing that's still going because of like those bone charms.
I kind of learned just to not assume anything about channeling now.
Well,
I think
the
we're all
only
just
reason why I'm
confused.
saying that is that the power doesn't come from her, it comes from the charms.
So are you saying that she's channeling the power from somewhere else?
Right, you are. Through those bone charms. What I'm saying is, if we want to sort something out, we could. I'm not saying we steal it, but what I am saying is that maybe some knowledge about these bone charms, and if we can, like, funnel Sam's power into something not so devastating.
I agree. That would be the dream. But it's not like we can ask her.
That's another thing. She ain't blind, deaf, and whatever. I think that's a fib.
Why would she lie?
She picked the glass out of my hand. That's weird. If I was blind, deaf, and can't speak.
Channeling.
This is what I'm saying. Something's up, and I'm hooked. I gotta know. I just worry about Sam.
You're free to investigate. We all worry, but I don't know what you'll get from her.
As you continue your conversation, your ship draws ever closer towards Dis, and some of us may have noticed, CJ has unfortunately dropped out of the call. So we will go straight into a break for a short period while we try to sort out whatever may be going on in the background, and pick back up as you move into Dis proper. Do hold with us over the break. Will be 5-10 minutes or so. Cheers. Hello, we're back. All of us. Look, even CJ. She is here. I promise. We're all good. All is good.
It's the voice. It's the voices. I'm hearing them again.
Voice from the
Not
ether.
more.
After the last time of not being able to see for half the session, CJ's clearly decided that, the best way of doing this is to inflict that on you, the viewer. You
I like
enjoy
it better.
their pain. Yeah. So, we'll jump back in. The flight continues up the small river, heading from the south in through the shade and slowly careening towards this large, busy lake that runs up through this and out the other side. Even as you start to approach it, you can see small steamliners and coal ships already making their way up the water. Canal boats laden with goods from Dowry, Faith, and elsewhere. You can make them out just across the water. You haven't quite joined it yourself yet. This river is small enough that you are the only boat on it. It's quite low. The valleys of Ignis roll around you and slightly obscure you from view. It's only really the occasional house that you can make out, and the spires of those ships on the water and the chimneys of this that vault out over them for you. Subil, as you watch, as you finish your conversation with Jules and leave her to theorize over the potential origins or connection of the woman at the front of the vessel, and Violet musing over the bow, the strings of violin nearby, which you don't really know what it is that's causing such intent interest playing across her features, or indeed Kylan as they sit with Sam, help build small pillow forts against the dull wood of the ship. Across, you can see Moorhen leaning over the side of the ship, holding up the vial of silvered blood against the sun, and just turning it very slowly in his fingers. His face is... Make a scrutiny test of difficulty 8.
Difficulty 8. Let's have a little look. I have no levels in scrutiny. Could I ask the associated aspect?
You 100% can. It is... He says double check it. Cunning.
Cunning. Wonderful. I'm okay, cunning. Let's have a look. That's 11 plus 3, 14.
Amazing. That's actually a critical success, in which case Moorhen's face is a mixture of emotions. He seems to be both interested, confused, but the small pulling on his lips also suggests he's quite happy. It's the look of someone who has just discovered something they had convinced themselves didn't exist and feel proud to be right.
Mm. Sybil's going to approach slowly and join him alongside, just looking out at the city as it passes by on the river. He's going to look at the file as well and just kind of gently studying channelers while you're at the academy then?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes. He pulls the vial down and immediately slides it into a breast pocket of his heavy traveling coat, keeping it pulled in next to his chest. Yes, very much so. As I said, when I exited church, channelers were a point of study there. It's not regular that you get an opportunity to, well, he just pats the pocket. Sam is unusual, to say the absolute least. I can't say I've had the opportunity to take samples of many challengers, but silver blood is an oddity, to say the absolute least. Very much requires a lot more study.
Have you
I'll
seen
be
it
interested
before?
to get to this.
Silver blood?
Pardon?
Have you seen the blood, silver, before?
Once. Yeah, just the once in an old study from Weast. There were rumors in Wissian legends of a group of men and women and, well, warriors that travelled across Weast roughly around the time of the Martyr, combating the things that waited in the snow. Or so I seem to remember the myth going. They were called Silverbloods in all of those stories, but well, a story is a story, but in all stories lies an ounce of truth, I suppose. Maybe a link there. I'd be interested to speak with a Wissian contact with my city when I arrive. In fairness, I think he points across the deck to the woman at the prow. I'd be very surprised if she wasn't Wissian herself.
Well, as long as you remember that I allowed that blood, not that I could deny it, for the safety and for the protection of Sam, not for the enlightenment of your own ideas. So just keep the priorities straight.
Of course.
Yeah. While you're
I wouldn't use it for anything ill, I promise you that. But the one thing I would say immediately is I wouldn't approach Sam with any alchemical formula at this point. This is beyond my understanding, and anything that could interfere with him being who or what he may be is too high of a risk.
Well, as long as we're clear that Sam's off limits. Yeah.
Of course, of course. Is he yours?
He's not, but out of everyone here, I've known him for the longest. That being said, people tell me it's been 2 months since meeting, so it's not like it's a forever time, but, it's long enough to feel at least a little protection over such a small child.
Of course. Do you know where he came from?
It wasn't really in my line of work to ask those kind of questions. It was more so to ferry them to the places they needed to be. Yeah.
I imagine trying to remain under the notice of certain groups, nods across the ship to Juliana.
You've done pretty well yourself in that regard, though. We've eluded them for a fair amount of time. Top of the watch list, I think Juliana said, didn't they?
It's easier when you move alone.
I can imagine.
There's less risk, less people to move outside of your plans. Certainly a lot more under your own control. I also do have friends across the country. Places I can rest, I can stop and move under their notice.
I have to ask, because, well, I'm sure you're aware we were working with the Freed at one point, at least when we could rely on that. Are those related to your contacts, or have you got other networks in place?
I had friends within the Freeds, not many, but a few. Those who I did know were fantastic at offering me passage when I needed to. I wouldn't have gotten out of Seekheim without that. But since that time, I haven't really spoken to many of them. I did hear through a few colleagues of mine that they were raided across the country in numerous locations over the last month or so. It seems the boot of the Inquisition has come down hard on. I'm under the impression, from what I've heard, that they may have known about their locations, their safe houses, for a lot longer than the Freed would like to admit it.
Sad to say, I feel like we might have to bear a little responsibility for them finally having to crack down. It's a shame. But at least we know they're compromised and that we may have to find some alternative safe havens.
Well, if what Ona says is true and you're going to be traveling with the Black Barrelers, you should be fine in this. That well, very few things get in and out of that city without them having their hands in it somehow.
Let's hope that you're right and that your info is still good, because, man, is it hard to trust any information you get nowadays.
My sources tend to be quite reliable, and there's loyalty where I am. I must ask, your friend...
I understand. Go on.
No, please, continue.
Sorry. I was just simply going to ask if you could possibly share some of those sources. I completely understand that the line of work that you're in, or at least the situation you're in, requires utter secrecy, but any help would be appreciated.
Can you make me a bewitch? Yeah, we're going to go with a bewitch check.
Bewitch check.
It's going to be difficulty 10. Charm if you don't have it.
Mhm.
See how much you've endeared yourself to him.
Interesting. Okay, I have... Okay. I think that's 12 plus 3, 13, 14, 15 total.
Wonderful. Okay. I'm sure it won't harm to tell you at least someone. There is a Channeler's Coven hidden deep in this, led by a Daniela Meta. She's an old friend of mine. Met her during my time with the church. They operate mostly out of an old smoking lounge at the Red Ribbon Inn. Go there and ask for the speaker.
The Red Ribbon Inn, you say?
The Red Ribbon Inn, yes. It's down in the pits. It's close to the water, overlooking it. It's a fairly dingy-looking establishment, but the building next to it is smothered in livery and gold finery. It reeks of opulence.
Interesting combination.
That's the pits. Most of this has been built up over the ruins of buildings that were torn apart for pieces. It's whereas faith is built on the bones of the old, the Dis is built on the repeatedly cannibalized remains of its own body.
That sounds like industry to my ears. Yeah.
Worryingly so.
This place, this air is definitely thicker than what I'm used to back in Tower Age, so... Yes,
I imagine there's going to be a point where it collapses under its own weight.
That also sounds like industry to me. I appreciate the information, Jacob, I do. You know that I at least intend to keep Sam as safe as I possibly can, and that's why I asked for this. Otherwise, I wouldn't. But I need as much help as I can get. So, thank you. Thank you.
Not at all. If I can help in any way I can, I will. Look, we'll be docking soon, and when we do, I imagine we'll go our separate ways, but should we ever see one another again, well, he offers you a hand. I hope we leave each other's company in friendship, unlike when we met.
Sybil's going to reach his hand and gently try to just give it, not really shake it, but kind of give it a little kind of tap while saying, Jacob, I appreciate that, but for your sake, I genuinely hope that we never meet again.
You reach out and just tap your fingers on his hand. Can you make me a willpower check, please?
I can indeed.
Difficulty 14.
Lovely. That's a 7.
Okay. You reach out and just tap his finger, trying to just keep the contact for as little a period of time as possible. But as soon as you make contact, your skin becomes blisteringly cold, and suddenly from your mouth you howl. Everyone else on the boat, there is a brief instant where Subil twists his back, pops his jaw open, and there is a deafening "Ah!" The second that passes his lips, your body goes limp and begins to drop. You hit the deck within seconds, and just find yourself lying there, your hand in agony, your finger, you can feel it throbbing in pain. And Moorhen just stands above you, looking understandably shocked, and drops down to check on you. Are you okay? What happened?
Fine. I am not doing that again. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to panic you.
No, not at all. You have nothing to apologize for. Across the deck, besides yourself, Kylan, Sam, who was quite happily playing, although doing so very meekly and tiredly, snaps up and looks over, glancing over to Subil as he hits the deck. Goes to move and his body shakes as he tries to pull himself to his feet and nearly falls.
I turn to Sam and go, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm sorry.
Kylan will have tried to support him as well. Just sort of, hey, it's all right. And it is is quietly to Sam. It's just like, Sam, what's going on? What did you protect everyone from?
He's kind of holding himself very shakily on the floor, where you can see him quivering. I don't know his name. He's just always been there.
Always?
As far as I can remember, when I woke up in the room, he was just behind me. He was always just behind me. And
what about, he says a little Kai says a little quieter. What about Subil, though? How long have you known Subil?
I don't know. Days, weeks, months.
Months. So you don't know this thing's name, but you know it's trying to hurt people.
He kind of looks up and over at Sybil, picks himself up and just kind of wraps his hands around his knees, leans on one of the pillows. He wants to come in.
To you? No.
He just waves his hand in the air and said, "Here." He wants to come in.
And we can't let him, right?
No.
No. Damn, how have you kept it away?
I can go where he is, and I can close the he points across to the door that leads into the lower part of the ship. I can close that.
The door being here and there.
Yes, the door.
Do you have to do it alone?
I don't think anyone else can touch the door. When I woke up the first time, the people wanted me to open the door. I couldn't do it. And then,
where were you back then?
I don't know. It was dark. There was lots of water, and there were pretty flowers, though.
You don't remember?
I don't.
That's okay. We'll figure it out. If you find a way that someone can come with you next time, maybe it'll be.
I can take you. I took, and he points over at Sybil. And I took Papa Jack, and I took Eddie, and I took all my friends, but then, and he points again at Sybil. But then he got Sybil. I'm not taking anyone there again.
Right.
It's too scary.
Well, Sam, we're not going to do that until we can figure some more things out. We don't want to be unsafe about it because I don't want any of your friends get hurt. But there's got to be a way to fix this, and it's not your job to do it alone.
I'm strong. I'm strong like Jack. I can keep him away.
I know you're strong. I didn't say you weren't. Nobody should have to do anything like that alone.
He just kind of pulls his knees closer into his chest. It's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
That's okay. I don't really know how to make people feel better. Do you want a hug or something? Okay, yeah, come here. And we'll kind of pull him in and just say, we'll do our best. We'll try to help Sybil. We'll try to figure this out. But right now, you just got to rest, okay? Great. Okay, just stay here, bud. And just kind of gonna pull him against one shoulder and kind of look back up if Sybil or anyone's looking and just give like a half wave, like a "don't worry, I got it" sort of thing.
I was just gonna nod, just a little nod. And I kind of just mouth the words, thank you.
Yeah, just a nod back. Just nods back. That's, and just kind of half focuses on the kid for now.
Mm-hmm. Sam goes very quiet for a bit and just kind of stays with you as the ship continues just to rock through the river and slowly break into the larger kind of canal lake that breaks into this in turn. Is there anything that either Violet or Jules would like to do at this moment as you start to enter this proper?
Once everyone has kind of calmed down and Sam a little bit quiet, can I go up to Sam?
Mm-hmm.
I just sit next to Sam. Kind of whisper to Sam. What do you think that old lady is? She reeks. I'm trying to be quite silly to make Sam laugh for a bit. Yeah. She's smelly, isn't she?
She smells.
Right.
She smells like fish.
Blah, fish.
He just lets out a very, very small smile. She's not real.
It's what I've been telling people. I'm on your side. But like, I threw a don't tell anyone that. But I threw a stone at her. So she's real, but like she's not real. You know?
She see him kind of trying to pull words around in his head. She's like my owl.
She's like your owl?
I make owl move. Owl doesn't make owl.
And that's what I've been saying. She's not the one moving there. She's an owl. You're right.
She's an owl?
No, well, yeah, kinda. Also, I think she can see it. I think we're being lied to. I gave her a glass of water and she just took it right out of my hand.
Did she say thank you?
She didn't.
Eddie taught me to say thank you.
It's a good one. Polite. Get all the good stuff when you're polite. What do you think of her, what she's wearing? That kind of weird bone things. Yeah.
It looks uncomfortable.
It does a bit. Imagine sitting down on it.
No.
Wouldn't that be uncomfortable?
He just kind of moves around in the pillows. These are better than that.
My hypothesis is that those weird teeth things, that's what's controlling her. Because they're really cold. I gave her a glass of water, froze right up. Weird.
I can, if I look at her, I can see lots of strings and
like a puppet, like a puppet.
Yeah, like puppet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you're talking, there's a fairly coarse cough from the top from the wheelhouse as Erna leans out. I need everyone to go under the deck. We're heading in. There's a chance. There's a chance we might get checked. So head into the bottom, go down to the ballast, and you'll find a door at the rear. Pull your way through, close it, and wait.
Kai will turn to Sam and be like, "Ready, kiddo? You can take the pillars."
He kind of gathers up 2 or 3 and tries to hold them all. His arms kind of stretched out as he's holding multiple in the same point. As he goes to move, it becomes very evident he can't actually see where he's going whilst he's holding all of these pillows. So he just kind of takes a few steady steps forward, plonks it into a barrel before turning and trying to make his way towards the door.
I think Kai looks over Sam's head at Jules and says, and kind of like gives a little like eyebrow raise.
We're
like,
gonna coerce gonna have my hands on Sam's shoulders. So Sam can walk in a straight line.
And Kai will pick up anything left behind, and
Yeah, because Sam will definitely drop stuff.
Yeah, obviously, I think Kai will end up helping. Maybe. Well, actually, Kai will probably stay down with everyone just in case there's trouble, and Erna can just go in herself. But yeah, I think Kai will just pick up anything that Sam's dropped.
Assuming everyone else heads down at the same time, you all make your way down into the belly of the ship, down past the crew's quarters and into the ballast deck, right at the back of which Kai directs you all straight to this heavy door that's essentially hidden behind the woodwork of the vessel. It slides open, leads into a small, fairly comfortable room. As you step in, doors pulled shut behind you, and a couple of lanterns are lit, giving you a small amount of illumination, enough that you can see each other and the uncomfortable closeness in which you are left. Other than breathing one another's air for the next 10 to 20 minutes, there's not a huge amount that happens. A couple of uncomfortable glances, Sam repositioning his pillows in the center of the room and somewhat kind of forcing everyone else's feet up against their chairs just so he has space to spread himself out a little bit. But that is rapidly repurposed as a nice comfortable position for everyone to put their feet on, even if you do slightly muddy and dirty all the pillows. About 15-20 minutes later, as I say, there's a rap on the door, and Erna brings each of you back up onto the top deck. As you are brought up, you leave. As you left, you did so in fairly open skies. You could see the various ships making their way into this, following alongside you on the canal. When you come back up, however, there is a whole different world spread out before you. To your right, you see large steel and stone and brick buildings slowly climbing their way up into the sky. This thick, muddy-looking air hanging at kind of medium level, just lingering over even the smallest buildings. You can see ugly painted signs that have faded over time on woodwork, sun-bleached as it goes, for various industries, for whiskies, and ships, and oils, and alchemical substances, all of which decry themselves as the best on the market, even as their competitors directly on the next building scream the exact same. On the left, you can see small, broken down buildings interlaced into a long, webbed streets that seem to wrap around on top of themselves time and time again. No two buildings look the same, but every single one of them looks as if it's been purpose-built by whomever may own it at this point. And again, you can see thick gas lights hanging from walls at different heights, different angles, slowly glimmering even in what you know to be the early morning, as the light is besmirched by the great gouts of smoke and steam and smog that belch out from towers in the distance. It looks as if no matter which direction you look off the boat, you can see the damages of an industrial city around you. The air is thick and putrid. The ship itself, you glance down at the water to see it moving from this lovely, serene, clean streams that you passed all the way down from Dowry into almost sludge-like brown liquid. You think you see fish swimming somewhere in there, but you can't imagine for the life of you how anything could live in those waters. And across from you, just up on the shores, you can make out people down on small jetties. Some stood with heavy bags full of washing, trying to wash them against the water. And again, you just see the disheveled look of many of them, of children, no older than Sam, some much younger in workman's uniforms. And the deeper and deeper in you move, you hear more and more shouting, screaming, and the sounds of busy, hectic life all around you. In Southshurt, everything was peaceful to a degree, even up until the point that half of it was on fire. People moved at a steady pace. They seemed to be enjoying their life, relishing in the small fancies that they could. Here, you see smoke-covered men making their way around, shirtless, with heavy stains upon their skin and burns upon their hands. Women hurry around buildings, trying to move from job to job, carrying whatever wares they can. You get the feeling of a city that doesn't know how to stop. Not that it never sleeps. It simply doesn't know how to anymore. But more than anything else, you see bright red flags running along the shorelines. Not the flags of any power base of Chalice, definitely not the flag of Dis or Ingress itself. Upon each and every one of them, you see a single hand balled into a fist, very messily painted on, with a steel ingot behind it. On many of them, you see different hand-drawn slogans plastered across them. Our blood, our sweat, but where is our reward? For the people, for Chalice, for the Queen, on another. On one, you can see a huge mural of Chalice steel industry, and painted across in messy red paint that still drips down the brickwork and seems to have barely dried. You see, stand now, stand together, hold the line. We are the Steel Queen. And as you kind of drink in all of the things around you, you hear Erna mention, we'll be coming up to a small dock shortly. Leads into the pits. We'll be leaving you there for the time being. We'll be stopping by, well, wherever you need us to. This is your trip. You paid for it. Did you have a specific location you'd go from there?
Well, we did, but whether or not that's a safe option, I don't know. We had originally a contact with more of the barrelers, but he has since left our company under questionable circumstances on our part, so that might not be the safest option. But I don't know how many options we really have now.
That's very much up to you, she mentions. Jacob kicks out, going, how did you actually get us through, Anna? We've got a few boys on the Protectorate on our books. We should be left alone, so if you're looking for an opportunity to go anywhere, this is probably your best one.
Sybil's going to turn back to Morhan and go, Morhan, your contact, do you think it's the right time to try and reach out to them?
You could. If you have contacts elsewhere, I'd potentially try those first before you turn to Daniela. She's very good at not being noticed until she is. If that makes any sense. She doesn't tend to do things quietly. if she's actually trying to make an impact. And he kind of gestures up at some of the posters and the signs around. Something tells me if there's a fight in the city, she'll probably be looking to either join it or try and escalate it.
Well, with our track record, that may well be our immediate future. Anna, do you know anything about the Blackstreet Coopers? It's possibly where we could reach out to our contacts. I don't know much about the city myself.
Yes, actually, that tends to be where we're going. She looks over at Kai. Haven't you got something to pick up from them? You're,
Yeah. More now, hopefully. I can take you there. Yeah, I can take you there. Says Kai, kind of like getting, slowly getting it. Like, I've got stuff to get from them, so it looks like we're headed to the same place. I'll take care of it.
Lead on.
Right. Yeah. Cool. I've just got to get a couple things from the hold, and we're good to go. And is going to go back down and grab some of their stuff really quick, like very quickly, a couple minutes, and they're back.
Anna, finally, you wouldn't happen to have a change of baggy clothes to just switch it up? I've got a feeling I've got a feeling we've got our faces plastered all over the city, and I'd quite like to not display that.
I have a feeling what I wear might be a bit big for you, she says, pointing at her kind of 6'6" frame, very thin but athletically built. May not.
If it helps, I do prefer baggy clothes.
I'll see what I've got. Kai, do you mind taking the wheel?
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. And it's just gonna it's shifting a bag on their shoulder. They probably ran down, ran back, and they just step up to the wheel, and no problems there.
You grip hold, and Erna rapidly disappears below deck, comes back a few minutes later with a choice selection of various bits and pieces. She's a very practical dresser. Everything is fit for purpose. So heavy workman's clothes. You've got a lot of kind of very basic, very obviously blackened, and if not blackened by age, waistcoats over heavy, loose white shirts. And she hands you a couple quite happily.
Cool. Stick on one of the waistcoats, kind of as I'm saying, just kind of muttering, "Oh, this is very much the great Gary's wife. This might come in handy." Okay. And he's going to put on the kind of the lightest clothes that he can find that will cover as much of his frame, and his mostly trying to find something with a hood or something just to kind of cover his face a bit.
She has a old kind of whaler's coat, a very, very heavy leather jacket that has with it a large hood, normally for nautical storms. So you've got access to it, but it is... It feels like a compression blanket to put it on.
I think I appreciate that one, but I'll find just a basic shawl or something. I'm sure I can fashion some kind of hood. Thank you, though.
She just nods. At which point, Kai, you know the waters here, so you follow them around quite contently until you come to a small dock hidden deep within the remnants of the pits. For those who can see the map, just next to the tip of the S, you'll see a long bridge that leads between the canals. The ship comes in just under the bridge and turns a left, where there's a small, quite not so much hidden, but shadowed dock that's just slightly hidden from view. So yes, hidden. Don't know why I said it wasn't. My apologies. Hidden from view that leads into a smaller alcove where a simple dry dock sits. a small stairwell leading upstairs into the city proper. You are led in swiftly and easily by Guy's steadied hand. Dock in, and Erna rapidly lashes the boat to the area.
Once we're docked, I think Kai will go up to Erna briefly. So I'm gonna take them in, pick up what I need. Do you need me to do anything before I come back?
No, nothing comes to mind. Just get them where they need to go, get what you need, and get back. It stinks of revolution here, and I'm just not in the mood.
Yeah, no,
I'm not going to
same.
get involved.
I'd rather just do what we need to do and get going. So I'll get them there fast then.
Thank you. Let's leave the workers' fight to them, hey?
Yeah, I mean, good on them and all that, but I've got my own job to do.
I mean, hand that feeds and all that. She looks, and you get this kind of very brief look over someone who kind of surprises you with her views.
Mm.
For a smuggler, she seems oddly dispassionate towards the strikes and union work to be going on in the city.
Okay, fair enough. I think Kai is a little bit... Kai seems more curious and more like, good for them or whatever, but is very, at the moment, very happy to just status quo. And that's what they intend to do. They're gonna take the group and get back as soon as they can to Erna and go back to work. Or at least that's the intention.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll make it quick. Just things have been a little bit weird. I'm sure you've been through it before, but I haven't. So, well, maybe I don't know. Watch out for yourself. If you've got a cut and run, I'll find my way back.
We shouldn't need to worry about that. But if you need to take an extra day to lay low, please do. If I'm not here when you come back, I'll be here again tomorrow morning. We'll say 8 bells, and I'll stay for an hour. If you're not here then, I'll return the next day, and after that, you're going to need to make your own way back to Dowry.
Heard. That's more than enough, thank you. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I just, I got so complacent because everything just kind of worked for a while. I think I'm just a bit shaken up by that weird lady and the stuff. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll see you in, a few hours, right?
Exactly. And she kind of takes you to one side for a moment. I am sorry, I should have told you more about what that was going to be, but if I told you, you wouldn't have gone.
It's fine. I didn't know what it was going to be, and takes like a deep breath. And everyone needed to go. It was for their own safety to get them there as quickly as possible, and anything that they had to deal with. It's not fun, but it was necessary.
She just kind of gives a very weak smile and a nod. What did you hear? Out of interest.
There's like just a blank moment where like Kai's mouth opens a little, like they're gonna say something, and then the gears start turning, and something about channelers and alchemy and hating them. There was a woman, and she felt so familiar, and she wanted me to open my eyes, and I said no because I trusted what you said. I trusted you, because you're here, and she's, I don't know where she is or who she is, so I'm sure as hell not gonna listen to her, no matter how familiar she seems.
Her face kind of moves a little bit from that fairly solemn, weak smile to a stronger, no, that's the right thing to do. You did the right thing. And she just slaps her hand on your shoulder.
Kai, like, almost sighs in relief a little and is, yeah, I mean, that sucked, but I bet it was worse for others, so I'm fine.
Good. And trust me, whatever you hear in that place, it's all lies and bullshit. Something trying to make you look where you shouldn't. It's dangerous. You did the right thing, Kai. Now, get them out there, give what they need. Come on back.
Yeah, absolutely. Off we go. Oh, and yeah, right. And just kind of shuffles through their pouch and pulls out a vial and just knocks it back. Oh, that will never get better. That tastes so bad. And just pops it into the pouch. Now off I go.
Well, at least I'll have some new ones for you. With any luck, it'll taste better this time.
I doubt it. And heads off to go gather everyone up. Come on, let's get going. We're losing daylight.
Jules will have tried to get as much alcohol as she can to fit in her bag for the journey.
Yep.
At this point, she's made no plans for the future. So for the plan for where we're going or whatever, she's just following along. I'm not sober and kind of in a daze.
Kai doesn't try to stop you this time. Probably only vaguely notices because they were in their own conversation anyway. But if they notice anything this time, they don't try to stop you.
At which point you gather up a few more bottles from the lower decks. Vine, anything for yourself? You're on mute.
I forgot I muted myself. I think Violet will just kind of gather up her things. By that I mean the violin, because she has nothing else to her name, and kind of just wait by the exit of the boat. I don't think at this moment she kind of just doesn't feel as not connected to the group, but she definitely feels like they're a bit more knowledgeable about what's happening than she is, and she just she should talk to them about it, but she's a musician and we're stubborn, so she's not going to at the moment in time. She's going to kind of just wait to get off the boat and just kind of think about what's happened and still try to process.
As you kind of go over by the edge of the boat, just wait. It doesn't take long for Sam to kind of meander over to you and just assume that's what everyone should be doing. So he just kind of stands next to you and looks over at your violin. Or the case, precisely, and then up at you, and then back to the case, and up at you.
I'm going to feel like I'm... Sorry. I was going to say, I feel like...
God.
No, I was going to say, I feel like I was going to notice that he was going to, like, looking, so I was going to smile down at him and stuff.
Are you going to play again?
I think, once we get off the boat, I think I might play again. I might do, I don't know yet.
You should. It was good, and I liked it. I haven't heard lots of music.
She's gonna smile a lot bigger and be like, I'm really glad you like it. If you ever hear something that you really like and you want me to play it again, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to.
And he just kind of pokes the case. Is it comfy in there?
I'll kind of smile and like kneel down so I'm like on his level. And I'll open it up and be like, yeah, you can have a feel inside the case if you want.
Immediately, he just starts having a look and kind of running his hands around the velvet interior and past the violin itself, and just seems to be enjoying the sensation of the velvet. It doesn't take too much longer for everyone else to kind of gather up around you and slowly be kind of taken off of the boat into the small dock itself. And towards the stairs as Jacob kind of moves to the front and just turns back to each of you. Well, it's been interesting. It's been pleasant meeting all of you, and I'm sure our paths will cross again in the future.
Oh, well, maybe not, and that would be all right too. But good to meet you.
And yourself. He kind of reaches out a hand to each of you in turn, with the singular exception that comes up to yourself, Sybil, and just goes,
Sybil's
I wish you well.
And go. And I give him a little mini kind of curtsy bow and kind of. I appreciate that, my friend. Stay safe. And
as you
remember
bow,
what we talked about. Yep.
Of course. And as you bow, he brings his hand across his stomach and bows back. As he reaches Jules, he again offers his hand out.
I give a very hefty handshake. Very, very hefty.
You almost crush his hand. You can feel the kind of knuckle bones moving under your grip, and he doesn't wince. He just leans in. Just one quick thing, and he whispers something into your ear, which I will send you now.
What are you sending me on
this?
Your Discord? Okay.
I sent it to the wrong person.
I was going to say, I'm really nervous.
I didn't look.
The person who got that, pretend you didn't.
I didn't. I clicked X before I read it.
Just delete it, Billy. Delete it.
My eyes.
She stops the handshake, mid handshake for sure.
He just
takes my hand back and steps away. And just say, how dare you? How dare you? Don't you dare put hope in my mind.
He just stands there. Hope is never far away, Jules. At which point he just kind of turns back to all of you. And I hope that each of your journeys ends pleasantly. Good day to all of you. And
Be safe out there.
pardon?
He's just Kai just says, "Be safe out there."
Oh, I intend to be. I'm sure it goes without saying. I'll extend the good message of not telling anyone I met you, as long as you do the same for myself.
Happily.
Best wishes. And he smiles and turns and heads up the stairwell, still gripping the same sword on his side as he disappears from view and into the busy streets above.
Kai just kind of mutters to the rest of the group, "That's my whole job, actually, pretending I never met anyone. Shall we go?"
Lead on.
Right, this way. And we'll start making our way through the streets on the way to our destination. Provided nothing gets it our way.
That was very optimistic. I like it.
I have to maintain a little bit of optimism.
You all make your way up into the city streets above, and immediately everything you saw from the waterways is plastered about you. The pits, the name is worryingly accurate for the way the city streets are laid out. There are these deep running roads that lattice in between heavy buildings that continue to kind of climb up on top of one another, as if every couple of years they build a new level on top of the last. And no two levels look exactly the same. In fact, as you clamber up to your immediate left, you can see 4 rows of small houses that form the foundation for more that are just layered on top. You can see the architectural changes as they move up, beginning in this very old, basic style, with singular stone columns formulating the houses, with wooden paneling matching and filling the gaps. Above them you see small bricked buildings, the bricks faded and changed over the years from sunlight. And on top of those, you can see more regular construction with small beams of metal running between them. And again, it just gives the impression of this, it's like taking a cross-section of the earth and just seeing the layers beneath. It's almost as if looking at a fossil. The people of the city meander through, and you can hear them as they mutter and talk to one another, most of them jogging or running between the streets. None of them willing to slow down and stop, or unable to slow down and stop. Horses with large carriages full of coal or minerals to be refined roll through the streets and cause you to have to hug walls to not be trampled underfoot. You can always hear the nearby clanging of metal, the burning scent of coal, more organic materials in the air. A young boy carrying a heavy broom runs past you, just covered in soot, head to foot. The only thing spared is eyes, for you can see a singular pair of goggles just struck to his, oh, I vanished, look at that, struck to his forehead, and leaving a almost raccoon-like open spot of just pale skin beneath. He runs past, even glancing briefly at Sam, who is dressed, in fairly moderate clothing, but isn't covered from head to foot in soot, and you can hear the young man go, some bastards don't even get a job, and runs past as he goes. It's a busy street, and without Kylan to guide you, you do get the distinct impression that it wouldn't take much to just disappear into the pits and never come out again. You trail through these streets for about an hour before you start coming close to your destination. Blackstreet Coopers, which runs about halfway through the pits along Black Street, that has a distinct and immediate view of one of the largest chimney stacks across the smoke belt. Here the walls are just thick with smoke, and you see immediately where the street gets its name, from tar stains and burns that just coat that stonework and the cobblestones of the floor. Above you, you can hear the hammer of a refinery and see the sparks that fly out nearby windows as people work. The air is thick. It stinks. It's uncomfortable. It is a crush of people in every direction. And just at the end of the street, near a large cobblestone building that actually stands rather impressively against everything else you're seeing, with wrought iron fences running along the exterior wall, you can see the Blackstreet Coopers. A very simple sign hanging on the wall of a single wooden barrel with a stream of what looks to be beer or some such passing through it. and tools laden to one side. Outside the front door, you can see a crowd of men and women holding up signs, shouting the same things you saw emblazoned on some of the banners. Our blood, our sweat, where is our reward? And the chant just repeatedly chimes again and again and again as they bellow against the building. And you stand on the opposite side of it, then forming a wall between you and where you need to be.
Well, everyone, as I'm sure you can see, that's where we need to go. What do we think? Divide and conquer, or form a line?
I don't think splitting up is the best plan. That being said, I'm not awfully fond of crowds, though I'm good at
Imagine.
hiding in them.
May I have an idea? I will look for the most amount of soot pile, and I'm just gonna roll in it.
That's not even remotely difficult to achieve. You look left, there's loads of it. You look, I don't know why I say I look left as I look right, but you know. You look
On my
left.
screen, you look left.
I'll take it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's flipped. It's okay.
It was all intentional. That's the lie I will continue to tell. You look left and there's just piles of soot, crap, and mud, and the same is true in the opposite direction. If you want to get up and look filthy, it will take you little more than a couple of seconds and a lifetime of regret.
Yeah, so I'm going to cover myself in soot, and if I can, pick up little bits of soot and kind of put it in Sam's hair and kind of like do the two lines or whatever, just kind of mess about with it so that Sam is also obscured and looks like just a working child. I hate saying that, but yeah.
I could try to distract them. I mean, they might like some music. I don't know.
It'll either go really well or really poorly. Do we want to try the sit method first?
I like the idea of music, but I feel like if we're seen, I say we put a face on it. But if for the time being, let's.
I mean, I don't have to be with you guys. I can go over there and start doing it, and you guys can sneak in another way. I mean, I've got no business going in there, so.
It's a lovely plan, though. I feel like they're a little preoccupied with the, our blood, our sweat. Where's our reward stuff?
Put a good jingle to it. You never know. Make a hit song out of it.
I mean, you could definitely put that on a shirt.
I guess if we just start also chanting that'll help.
That would get us through the crowd. Sybil, while he's saying
I think I might enjoy it a little bit too much and join in.
enjoy rolling around.
I love a good riot. I haven't done one since I can't remember when. When was the last time? It was the coal mines, and that's right. We shot a sheriff once. That was a good night. It was a good night.
Did you shoot the deputy? Anyway, all of you in front of me. I'll take up the rear. Sorry.
Broken man.
God damn it.
Oh.
You're gonna have to write that down, Ben.
Yeah.
Notes.
Oh, I will.
You're gonna have to make that canon.
Kai's gonna kind of try to get the others in front of them and take up the back so that they can keep an eye on everyone and try to herd them. And just says, yeah, smear some soot on you, let's go.
Ben, just a question quickly. In our previous system, Sybil had an ability where he could effectively disappear into crowds, and I kind of interpreted that, even with his touchy stuff.
That's absolutely fine.
Cool. So he would do okay in navigating through this.
Very much so. As you all start dirtying yourselves up and preparing for your next stage. You do get to a point where Juliana kind of quietly gestures for you to come to one side, Subil. She looks down at the filth on the floor and everywhere else, and you have that moment where you compare it to this very well kept, very distinctly picked out appearance that she has, and you get the immediate feeling, followed by the words, which is, I'm going to sit this one out. I'm going to head to the church, follow up on what we spoke about. I will leave this to you.
Okay. I am sorry that we've got you into this, Juliana, but please be careful.
No. I picked this myself.
Okay.
And you can see her eyes just flick over to Jules. Just don't shoot anyone.
Hey, you know me, I'm not.
Just because I shot someone before doesn't mean I'm doing it again. And what happens if they deserve it?
I mean, I will say I don't feel comfortable in this room now that I know.
I'm joking. God, guys, we've been doing too many shit things. I don't actually want to do that.
I'll keep it.
I should have stowed away in a different boat.
Yeah, sorry.
Stowed away in a different boat.
Even Juliana just kind of looks over at you for a moment, Violet. Why are you still here?
I honestly don't know. It's what I'm asking myself right now. Don't really want to go through the crowd, so I might just.
Well, if you ever want me to take you somewhere till I'm back on my ship, you just let me know.
Got nowhere else to be, and it's fine. It's fine.
Between you, even this now very sooted up and muddy and grubby looking child that is now kind of stood in the middle of the crowd, and having watched the rest of you slowly kind of sooting up, is still doing it. They're just smearing it over themselves at this point. But as that conversation picks up, he kind of points over at Violet and goes, "Oh, she's my sister now. Adopted her, remember?
Yeah,
has to stay."
I look at Juliana and be like, "Well, there's your answer. I'm adopted sister now."
And he looks over at her and just nods aggressively, and then kind of picks up a handful of soot and just walks over and just places it on the violin case as if.
Nice one, Sam.
I'll look to Juliana and say,
there's a look on Violet's face right now that just can't.
Later, Sam, I'm going to teach you the word anarchy. That's fun.
So, Juliana, we're meeting up with you later then. I mean, they're meeting up with you later then. I think this is my last stop, actually. So, yeah, it was a pleasure to have you on board, and I wish you safe journeys.
And yourself. She gives you a small bow, smiles. It was a pleasure meeting you, Kylan.
Yeah, likewise. You all ready to go?
Before turning around, I'm just going to just lean to Juliana and go, I know the answer is probably going to be, I'll find you, but later on, how are we going to reconnect?
She gestures out. There's a large church in the smoke bowl just across from the Kindhold estate. I'll meet you there.
Are you sure it's a good idea getting that close to a church?
I'll be honest, we had assumed it would be the last place you would visit. So at the very least, it will give us time.
Okay, well, taking stupid risks is our specialty, so I suppose I'll meet you there when we can.
Best of luck, Subil.
Good luck, Juliana.
She offers you a smile, a light smile, and she turns as well. And the two of you kind of part in opposite directions, leaving the four of you and Stan to enact whatever plan you are piecing together. The strike line continues.
You all get going. I've got to get myself sorted up as well. Kai has notably waited to smear soot all over themselves. Like they also didn't seem too keen to do it either.
It's not a fun thing to do, unless you ask Sam or Jules, I imagine. So it gives the three of
time.
Yeah.
So it gives the three of you a moment to get ahead of the curve, as it were. So how do you intend on moving forward? What is your plan?
Assuming that this crowd is gathered around the main entrance of what I'm presuming is the building that we're attempting to access, Sybil's going to try and figure out, are there any back entrances, alleys, side entrances, other things? I'm assuming there are plenty.
You would assume so, but obviously, as you say, you've never really been here, so you're going by knowledge at the very best. Do for me, let's say, I've an engineering or intellect check, please, at difficulty 10. Or homesteading, if you've got it. Yeah.
Not much of a homesteader. Nor am I much
Always
of an
worth asking,
intellectual.
right?
Indeed. All right. That's going to be +1 to whatever I pull. Let's have a look. That's 9. Actually, I might cheat. Yeah. If that's okay.
Of course.
And I'll use this, one of my 4s. So that's 12.
Awesome. From just the rear of the picket line, you kind of look out over the building. And whereas it does have a very obvious and open front gate, if these are what you assume them to be, a band of smugglers with a legitimate operation on top, if they didn't have some form of secondary entrance, you'd be very surprised. You do a quick loop around and you find that running along just behind the building is a small river that links back into the main canal. And along that river, from a little bit of a distance, you can see, much like the one you've docked your ship in, a small alcove that you imagine leads into the building. At this point, there are no eyes on it. There are a few small canal boats moving up and down the river, but they're nothing more than paddle boats. There's even a couple moored up, just hanging loosely, with a couple of paddles lying inside. Or oars, mostly. So.
I think Sybil's going to kind of look at everyone and go, all right, so options are we can try and get through the crowd and somehow talk to whoever's at the front, or I think there's a little side entrance down the river. If I was a smuggler, I'd say that's probably the best way in if we want to try and keep it low-key and avoid all the screaming picketers. What do you think?
I think you might be onto something with the side entrance. We've just got to get through to get there.
Okay, well, I mean, unless there's another way around, I'd say. And he's just going to gesture straight towards it through whoever may be in the way.
Shall we try that?
Haven't got any better ideas?
Well, see, here's the thing that I've been thinking about in this moment. If we get through the crowd to the front door, we still have to go through the front door, and everyone in the crowd is still going to see us go through the front door. So whether or not we're sooty and blending in, or even if we're invisible, you can still see the door open, right? So you might be onto something with the side door is essentially what I'm saying at this point, I think. What do you think?
Still try to cause a distraction if you guys think it might help, at least to get through the door.
Just for out of character clarification, Is there any notable reason why we would want to choose the front door?
The front door was, and it is normally where most of the barrelers actually work. It is actually a fully legitimate business, putting out work and barrels and good stuff. The basement where they actually operate the smuggling ring tends to be quite quiet. It's there to take deliveries and move things around. Most of the barrelers' actual smuggling work happens all over the country. This is just somewhere for them to meet and work together on occasion. So if you're going in to meet someone, you go through the front door. If you're going in to work, you go in the back door. So
I think they'll understand if we don't go to the front door. So Kai will kind of relay this in a succinct fashion. Just look, normally it'd be right to go through the front door, but I think given the circumstance, and kind of point to the large crowd, I think they'll understand if we show it from the basement. Do you want to give it a shot?
Good plan. Although, I have one thing that I need to do before we go. What do you think, Jules?
I was going to ask, is there like a secret handshake, a secret thing that we can do? Because personally, if we go through the back door and they come out guns blazing, how do we to be like, barrelers?
They know me. Most of them know me at this point.
They know you, right? So you're gonna be the first person in the door then.
As long as I make it from here to
right
there,
now,
as long as I make it from here to there, we should be okay.
Right, you are okay.
Cool.
Back door sounds pretty good then.
Sybil's gonna say, before we go, let me just figure out what's going on here with this crowd, all right? Which, as he says, he's just going to turn to the nearest guy who's like holding a big sign and that's showing, and he's going to slowly go there. And as he gets closer and closer, he's going to go, bloods, I swear, where's our rewards? And as he gets next to him, he goes, what's this one again? I can't. So much to be angry about. What are we protesting
you're
about?
damn right there is, brother. Look at this shit.
I know.
Yeah.
Bunch of what?
Bunch of bastards locking themselves in with all the stuff. We can't continue our strike if they're keeping it all locked up. I haven't seen them in fucking days.
God, days it's been. That's what they're angry about, is it?
Exactly. It's like they hate the fucking common man.
Oh, fuck them, right? I think they're better than us. As Sybil kind of slowly backs back.
I'm going to push past Sybil and I'm going to go, what? You're after them? I saw them there just the other day. They're right uptown. I saw them just uptown, right in, just downwind. They got out of all that.
Convinced. We're going to call this that. Or they're het up, they're angry. This guy's pretty pissed off. He's been reminded he's pissed off by Sybil. Let's call it 10.
all this while Sybil's backing off and Jules is then jumping in. Sybil's kind of going, oh no.
Is Ace high or low?
Ace is a 1.
6. I can cheat it, but I have. What is it? Convince.
Convince. Yeah. Which is intellect.
Actually, you know what? I have an 8 again, but it would just barely get 10.
I mean, barely is fine. As long as you hit 10, that's what matters.
Yeah, yeah.
You gonna use it?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it.
Downwind? Those fucking leeches. I bet they're moving stuff down to the tops. Thank you, sister, he says and just slaps you on the shoulder. More power to your arm. Come on, boys. and he just grabs a handful of his nearby strikers, all of which you realize at this point are carrying either heavy chains or steel workers' tools wrapped in their belts. He pulls out one. He goes, "For the Queen!" And the others roar along with him.
For the Queen!
For the Queen!
And then I'm going to whisper to Subil, I'm like, I didn't even know this place had a queen, gonna be honest.
Neither did I. I didn't know you were going to do that either. For the Queen!
Well, I was just at least lessening them down. I was never going to get rid of all of them.
Alright, we should go before it's,
A fourth of their number takes off and just rushes past you, charging towards downwind.
Kai watches this happen and just goes, well, shit. That was easy.
What I'm hoping anyway is if we're shoving all downwind, most of the people down there are proper workers. So I'm just going to end up increasing the riot, and no one will know where the information came from.
Jules is you're just stoking the revolution.
It's going to be like, it's going to be that Spider-Man meme where it was like, you told me, and, you know, nothing happens.
Beautiful.
I don't think Max is going to be happy if this entire area doesn't end with a picture of Jules on a big poster.
Oh my god, if I end up being like the spokesperson. Yeah. This revolution. Oh no.
Oh no. Ben, what
Jules is not taking this seriously.
Does that lower RTN to get past the crowd since you took away 25%?
Yep.
Yes.
Worked out in the end. All right.
It's really how do you guys want to tackle this? Do you want to try the front door, or are you going to try and loop around still? You've got, as I said, you've diminished the crowd. The strike is still going on. People are still shouting. A few of them are trying to work out where some of their people went. You can see the river still moving along, the occasional stops of small boats coming in to either join or just watch the strikes from a distance. You get a couple of instances of a small riverboat coming up and yelling at the strikers, telling just to get back to work, you lazy bastards, which just draws ire from the strikers and lots of thrown rocks.
I think Kai's going to turn to Sam, even though he's all suited up, kind of lower their voice, but isn't actively like trying to hide from anyone, and just say, "Hey, Sam, can you like? I mean, I know it gets all cold and stuff when you channel, but can you like go invisible or anything like that? It might be safer."
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Can I shout too?
Yeah, they won't know where it's coming from. It'll be fine.
It just has this smile slowly rip across his features as he just, okay, he closes his eyes and just
okay,
disappears.
Yeah, hold on to someone, one of us, so we know you're here. I don't care who, just pick someone.
You kind of stand there for a moment.
Who's gonna pick?
And there's, just as you look on Violet's violin case, you just see a handprint appear, leaving just a bit, kind of an open space in the soot. Then another one, and then just grabs your sleeve and starts making his way towards the crowd, kind of half pulling you with him as he
Don't
goes.
let go, Sam. There you go, kids hidden, shall we?
Seems like I'm already going towards the crowd of Sam, so I'm just gonna look back and be like, I guess we're going.
Yes, we're going. Which way does Sam lead? Toward the front door or the side door?
He's leading directly towards the front door. From Violet's perspective, you hear this small voice coming from literally nowhere, joining in the chants, but just not quite getting it. But your blood, your sweat. Where's our ward? And it just keeps trying to keep up with the chant and just completely trashing it with every different iteration. On
I'll
like the
start-
fourth or fifth.
I'll start chanting to kind of like, not like hide it, but like just to
join
like,
in.
So then people aren't gonna be questioning, going, why do we hear a little kid who's ruining the chant, but also, like, don't see him anywhere? But I'll start, like... Basically, Violet's gonna start doing her performance thing of, you know what? I'm a performer. I'm gonna pretend I'm part of this thing now. So she's gonna get very into character now, I've decided.
What
I guess we're gonna try the front door then.
What is my what?
What is your highest social skill? How would you like to try and whip the crowd up at this point? Because between you and Sam, there is definitely an effort to drive things to a point where they're just kind of so lost in the strike.
What would a social skill be under, like, aspect-wise?
So you would have barter, bewitch, convince, deceive, intimidate, leadership, or scrutiny. Also,
well, it's funny. I was going to say that I have bewitch and leadership both at a AV rating of 4.
Either or, however you'd like to do it.
I say bewitch. That feels more fitting for a performer to bewitch rather than lead.
Okay, go for it. We'll call this originally to try and distract or drag their attention in any particular direction would have been a 14. As you've got rid of a fourth of their number, we'll call it not exact maths, but we'll call it 10. That's my own salary.
That's a 6 plus my 4, so a 10 in total.
Perfect. Please describe how you want to build them into a frenzy as you start making your way through the crowd and very rapidly pushing them from angry people who are kind of aware of what's going out around them into rage-filled lunatics. How do you do it, Violet?
Well, she's gonna first off start by like chanting what they're chanting. Going to guess that when obviously they were coming in, she would have seen a bit of what's happening and stuff. So she'll start kind of. I don't know exactly what she's going to say, but like she'll say stuff to do with things that she's seen that she kind of figures a rather bit more. So like, say she saw like a blood spot or like a like a blood, like a pile of not pile of blood, but like a puddle of blood somewhere. She'll like bring that into being like, we have died for this kind of thing, and like going like we're not like we deserve this. We're the ones working for it. You're the ones like profiting off of it and not doing anything. Basically, what we all want to do is what we all really want to say to the government right now is what she's going to end up getting these people to say. And like she gets very, very into it as well. Like you can see it starts off as a performance, but like I think towards like halfway through she is just fully given into the character, and now she is just this ball of rage. But yeah,
immediately you kind of start this performance, and then the further and further you get into it, the more you actually kind of agree with everything you're yelling. And it's minutes before the entire picket line is kind of up against the fence with Violet at the head, bellowing abuse through the fence at the building. This tiny little voice next to her, still white-knuckled gripped to your shirt, screaming out everything you're saying. It goes without saying that Sam is learning a lot of new words right now.
Oh no.
Violet is saying a lot of inappropriate words, I think. Yeah, she's what? I'm the adopted big sister. I've got to do the big sister thing and teach them all the words the parents will.
All the naughty words.
As I say, the crowd is whipped into a frenzy thanks to Violet, to the point where stones are being hurled over the gates. You can see them smashing through windows on the other side. You're at the point where, if you wanted, you could probably push them to try and storm the building.
Ooh, that could make it worse for us. But
it's a little bit Icarus.
It is a little bit Icarus. However, I've said it before, I'll say it again. She's a performer.
She's too much in the role.
She's literally too much into the role.
She's a method actor.
I didn't want to be the one who fucks this up, but fuck it. Yeah, they need to get in. They need to get in. She doesn't know why I need to get in, and at the moment in time, she is raged. She is literally just a ball of rage. Yeah, she's gonna try to lead us storm into the building, and I may regret this in later episodes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you for one last check just to really, really push it, and I'm going to go with leadership this time.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely cool.
We're going to go with... So, you've whipped him up enough. You did well enough. We'll keep it as a 10.
Okay. So that was an 11 plus my 4.
Hey!
So
Critical
15.
success.
Oh!
There we go.
From the back. I'm going to fully describe it from your points of view, Subil, Jules, and Kylan. You watch as Violet moves into the crowd. From the back, she kind of just starts gently pushing them, trying to get the crowd looking in the right direction to allow you all to do what you want. But as she gets deeper and deeper, her voice starts rising above everyone else's, and people start mirroring and following her shouts. And it gets to the point, as I say, where you're seeing rocks being thrown and bottles vanishing over the top of the fence, until eventually, what cry would you want to lead these people with, Violet?
Oh.
How do you want to push this?
It's going to be living in infamy, so choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
God, I didn't think this part through.
I don't think you would
It's
be
fine.
thinking
Go with
of the
what feels
situation
right.
exactly.
To be fair,
Doesn't
what
need-
feels right is just her full-on screaming for the queen, because I feel that's something that they would shout for doing it. She has no idea who this queen is, but just gonna full-on belt for the queen.
And
She is-
each and every one of you hear this same scream as Violet's voice pierces through the heavens. You almost feel like the smog above breaks for a moment as this unanimous howl of "For the Queen!" goes up. The gates start to be shook across the entire length of the building. You watch slowly as the corrugated iron is torn down in revolutionary fury, and the crowd of strike workers pushes over the border into the Coopers, and you watch from behind as screaming at their head, charging, is Violet and a very visible but very happy Sam, who has picked up a stick at this point and is just charging forward, their face joint in Violet's, in this ragged fury as they bolt across, giving the three of you kind of the run of the town to do whatever you want, as they're all going to be busy for the next hour or so.
I'll see you guys when I get picked up in jail. Bye.
So are we going around then?
I think Sybil's going to turn to Kylan and go, so, I don't think we've got many allies here anymore, seeming
No.
as our associate is currently storming their premises.
Okay.
That being said, we might have got Daniela's attention.
Let's get inside.
I think that'll be pretty easy.
I think let's get inside the Coopers. I might have a way to get those two inside as well. It's iffy. I can't guarantee it. But let's get inside first and deal with it then.
Okay.
Can I drunkenly stumble over to Kai and slur very profusely? I think, Subil, that Violet is the worst influence ever.
Just looks
know.
at you.
Through the front door if she can.
Can we get through? What is this looking like for us, Ben? Is it looking like we can, if we shove our way through this crowd, we can get through the front door, or that it's cleared the path to the back?
Feels like you could kind of do either or. The crowd at the front of the building, if anything, thanks to the fact their numbers have been diminished slightly, are kind of just lost in the destruction of random property. So barrels that have been left out front, the work station itself, the workshop is just being torn apart at this point. Even you kind of look over and you can see Violet's clambered onto a table and is just kicking the barrels off left, right, and center, which are just landing in the crowd and smashed up. There's even a small contingent of people cheering her on from beneath, including Sam. The door is just across from you on that kind of work floor. You get the impression it's probably barred, and if it wasn't, it's probably about to be. Or you could just nip around the back. No one's paying it any attention.
All right. You two, what do you want to do? What's easier? Do you want to go around the back? Do you want to go through the front?
Walk in the front door.
All right, go walk through the front door. I'll make sure Violet and Sam get in as well.
I think they were already
Right, you are.
Well, they're heading that way.
Right now Violet's on top of a table, kicking over a barrel. But
Violet's living her best life right now.
Oh yeah.
I admire the optimism. Go get through the front door. I'll keep an eye on you. I'll see what I can do for those two.
Cool. All right.
We'll lead then as Subil and Jules, you kind of nip across the open space, ducking between the riot. Because that is what this is evolving into. It has just become a riot. And it hit the front door, which the bit that throws you off is that it's open and unlocked. You swing the door open, and behind you, you hear nothing but clamoring and shouting and cheering and the joy of revolution. As you
Is
make
there
your
a bell?
way... Pardon?
Is there a bell?
There is a bell.
Would you like to kindly ring the bell, please? Hi, is anyone home?
You walk through into the main kind of office in there, and directly in front of you is this long, very nice desk and a bell on the front. You go to touch it, and as you reach out, the smell hits you.
Oh no.
The building reeks of death. And as you kind of just stop for a moment, you can still hear the shouts behind you. It's just this acrid, slightly the smell is slightly hidden under the smell of, you can only describe as perfume. And you just lean over the desk, and lying just on the floor behind, there is this fleshy mound of skin, ruptured and torn apart in the floor behind it. And blossoming from the center of it, pulsating ever so slightly and ever so gently, is a single purple poppy. And that is where we're going to end for this week.
Ah!
Oh no! Oh
It's
my
fine.
god! Oh my
And the
god!
three of them still have no idea, so that'll be fun next session.
Oh shit!
I'm kicking over barrels, man.
Shit.
I don't know what's going on in there.
Yeah.
I'm having the fucking time of my fucking life. It's great.
Glad one of us is having a good time.
There's gonna be a song about this. Give like a few months to write a hit song about it. It'd be great.
Oh. Oh my god! Oh god! Oh
Actually,
no!
so happy. Yeah,
Why'd I go
continue to
Clover
just look happy. Well, thank you very much, everyone. As always, it has been lovely. So we'll do a quick loop around the room before we say goodnight for today, and see you again in a few weeks. to pick back up and see exactly where the Chaos Goblin leads us, and if the revolution is really all it's cracked up to be. Who knows?
Never question the Chaos Goblin.
Yeah. So we will start with our brand new revolutionary leader, Holly. Who are you? Where are you from?
Our leader.
Apparently, okay. I actually don't know where that revolutionary thing came from, so that's fun. Hi, I'm Holly. I'm now calling myself the resident Chaos Goblin. It's taken me too long to get this title, and I'm glad I've now got it. If you're interested, you can find me on Instagram at Holly Ida Healy. I sometimes post stuff. I'm currently working in the theatre music industry, so I'm slowly turning more and more into Violet each day. Maybe one day I will lead my own revolution. That'd be quite fun to see a 5 for a 3 person lead a revolution. But yeah, you never know. Follow me to find out.
Well, if you ever see the news of Holly on it, we all know what's gone wrong. Clearly, Guy Fawkes didn't try hard enough. Holly will show him up. DJ, who are you? Where are you?
Did not try hard enough. Hi, everyone. I have been the disembodied voice of CJ. It's been a pleasure, as usual, and I've been playing Kylan, who is certainly convinced that this is their last stop, everything's fine, and they'll be able to go back to work soon. So, yay for them. They're about to have a big surprise.
Yeah, you haven't got rid of us yet.
Well, I, CJ, am happy about that. Kylan remains to be seen.
I'm sure it will only ever end well. That's the whole point of this, right? Billy.
I am Billy. I am still alive. That's a plus. I currently can't stop thinking that Juliana has literally turned around and she must have seen about 25 odd people run straight past her, charging, go, ah! She's thinking, oh, that's definitely something. And she can probably, about 2 minutes later, hear the sounds of revolution where she has literally just turned around. So,
yeah.
Sybil's going to be thinking about that for a while. I will be here next time, hopefully. Hopefully Sybil will also be there. I'm not anywhere else really on the internet, but as I say every time, maybe I'll have my world building project all set and ready. Y'all have to come back next time to see if there's been any progress. Maybe there will be. Maybe there won't be, but maybe there will be.
I live in hope, Billy. I live in hope.
Don't we all? It's the only way we can get through these.
And Max.
I'm Max. I play Jules. Yeah, that was fun. Son of Revolution. If you want to find me anywhere, I'll be on Instagram at YallopMax. I do theatre, so hopefully you'll see me on stage at some point in London. But yeah, if you want to keep updated with what I'm up to, please, follow me on Instagram.
Thank you very much. And as per usual, I'm me, I'm Ben, I'm on Try Again Ben, wherever you look. I'll tell you that I'm there, and then I won't post anything, ever. So, hey, that's always fun, right? When I'm not here, I'm working over at Modifius Entertainment, making things that are Fallouty, and occasionally writing things that aren't Fallouty. Hey, it's a living. But hey, most importantly, I'm here. I'm with these wonderful people, and next week I will be with the other wonderful people, and it will continue to be wonderful. So, normally I'd sign off with a goodbye, a farewell, thank you very much for watching, and come on back next time. But I feel the only thing to really say this week is, for the Queen!
For the Queen!
For the Queen!